And with the sexiest man in Warhammer here, that's right, Big M's Power Hour. Oh,
Oh yeah.
and the biggest biceps in the world, Fit Hammer.
Oh
And
wow, that's a huge.
I mean, maybe let's just go tone. Let's go tone. Let's,
the biggest biceps in the house he lives in. That's right, it's Fit Hammer. And me, Chuck. This is episode 121 of the Strength Hammer podcast.
Low boys.
Hi, how you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Great. Got my hot decaf coffee.
Your hot decaf coffee, and your inability to have level audio because you sound quieter.
I'm so sorry.
Just talk a little louder like me. That's how you fix your audio. Just talk louder.
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
all right.
All right. Perfect. Welcome to all the new subscribers because it's still been growing and it's great to see. So we're on our way to 1,000. We're gonna hit it. If you're new to the channel, Big M over here occasionally does a longer form podcast talking about all the things that I don't like to talk about on my podcast, which is usually competitive stuff or rules and all that nonsense, which doesn't matter in Warhammer to me. But
you said there's rules to this game. We don't just like miniatures on the table and like go pew pew pew.
Yeah, I mean, really, just like I just paint and then I get to the table. I'm like, that's good. We don't need to do this part. Different format tonight as per usual, just for this little one-off show. Because tonight we're going to be talking about the Tayrathi Classic 5, my invitational event that happened this past weekend, and both Alex and Matt were graced by my invitation to join.
I loved it. It was a great time. I always love it.
It's good. It's good. So we'll stick mostly to the format as much as we can, but there'll be a slight variance. So obviously, we'll start with Matt. Matt's technically the guest here at this early part of the segment.
Hey,
Matt, how's your lawn?
covered in snow.
How much?
Like 3 inches.
Oh, okay. How's the sidewalks, driveway? All plowed, shoveled, good.
Covered.
All right. All right, Alex. How about your lawn? How's it doing?
Lawn is great. It is also covered in snow.
How
I would
much?
say probably 4 inches.
Okay, I was gonna say if you just do like a finger measurement, the audio listeners are gonna be mad at you.
Yeah, this much.
This much.
And it's good. It's cleaned up where it needs to be cleaned up. It's safe. I love this weather. We had such a sunny day today, snow, brisk, crisp. Love
In your
this.
environment. Huh?
Yeah.
I'm thriving as far as weather goes.
I'll say it again, but in Russian.
Yeah.
My lawn is also covered in snow, but about 8 inches of snow. So that's why the 3 threw me off and the 4 threw me off.
I've had here for living in the mountains.
Yeah, it pretty much.
Very fair.
Today was blue skies, so a little bit of a melt. So it was all right. But the past couple days, man, I've been shoveling twice a day, salting nonstop, just trying not to die, like going out as minimally as possible. I'm so thankful I have a home gym right down here because it was blustery is a kind word for what it was yesterday. It was white out. You couldn't walk, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna lift at home, and thank goodness I could.
It's surprising how much more snow you get, even though we're only like 15 minutes away. But you get significantly more snow down that way.
It's odd because the way the valley works, I either get so much more or nothing. Like with your weather, I either
That's
like Matt's weather, don't even know if I'm gonna get it. Yours, yeah, you're much closer, Alex. I may get yours twice as much, or I may get none of it. It's really odd. But
I'm always worried about driving your direction in this weather, because like I might not be able to drive.
nah, you're fine. You got 4-wheel drive.
Yeah,
This is the Northeast. We're used to this.
That's fair.
Not like Texas, whose Dallas had snow today. And guess
That's wild.
yeah, they had and when I say snow, I really mean it flurried.
Oh, okay.
So
Did they cancel school?
they're shut down tomorrow. So one of my friends in Texas, he's like, yeah, we're shut down tomorrow. So he's like, you want to hang out later tonight? I'm like, maybe, I don't know.
That's always funny to me.
Listen, all right. While the West Coast burns and the South is just buried underneath millimeters of snow, then the East Coast will continue to just drive America as we always do. by going to
Right.
work tomorrow in school because. Oh, but all right. Well, lawn talk's out of the way. We got to make sure we hit that milestone every time.
Of course. I'm still waiting for Mark to show up.
Oh, for the true lawn talk. Well, that might wait till spring when he's actually frustrated cutting the grass.
That's fair.
Yeah, he doesn't really shovel the snow too much.
Mm.
Anyway, that's a future segment for coming for you all. So you stay tuned for months ahead. But before we start diving into the main topic too, we have to talk hobby as always. So obviously we'll leave exception of games aside.
Sure.
But Matt,
Yes.
how's your hobby been? I guess pre and post Tayrathi Invitational.
A lot of building.
Okay.
A little bit of painting. For Tayrathi, I had to rebase all my Iron Drakes. So I got them rebased. I needed to get a couple painted up so I could have WYSIWYG, as the young kids say. And then other than that, I got a lot of Crisis Protocol and now Shatterpoint of all things for Christmas, so I've been building that as well.
Okay, all right. Has the joy of Marvel Rivals really driven the Crisis Protocol? Marvel, yeah, a lot. MCP.
No, it's
Are those
honestly
separate?
whenever. Yes, it is separate. Whenever it comes to Crisis Protocol, though, it has the same driving force as Warhammer, where the more you play it, the more you want to paint it.
Hmm.
But again, whenever it comes to that stuff, I always kind of use it as I go, you know what? I'm never going to go to a tournament. I'm never going to go to a competition. I'm never going to do anything with it. I'm just going to force you guys to play every once in a blue moon. So, like, I go, you know what? Whenever I open up a comic book and I turn to a random page, there's like 3 colors on the model, or 3 colors in the book. So 3 colors it is in real life.
That's fair. I mean, at least with comic book heroes, yeah, they're very standard paint schemes because they have to draw them a million times. So
Right. Now, I will say that, like, on Facebook and Reddit and things like that, you'll find a bunch of tryhards that make me feel bad about myself. But other than that, I go, well, I painted mine in 2 hours.
it's like I am done and enjoying my day. What about you?
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, no, good amount of hobby, and it's continuing on post Tayrathi, which is good. Good. Alex, have you recovered from painting an army in 4 days and getting 0 sleep before an event again?
Again, yeah, that's typical.
That's your standard.
Right. That's a stand. That's how I get most hobby done. Yeah, it was great. It was great. I painted an army in 4 days. To be fair, I did spray paint it on a separate day. And actually, I took Matt's advice. I've never done this like that exactly before, where I sprayed them with the darker solid color. It was a dark gray, and then I kind of did an overtop angle of a white, very stark white. So it's like a Zenithal Prime without doing individual Zenithal Prime.
No, that what you just described is exactly Zenithal priming.
Isn't
To a
that
T. Exactly, that's Zenithal. I just did it.
The classic is 3, but you can get away with 2.
Oh, okay. Well, Zenithal Prime, according to me.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was very good. Painted an army in 4 days, about 1,200 points. It was fun. It was easy. It was goblins.
Did you like that technique?
Yeah. So I've done very similar, but I've done I don't know what you would call it, but I've done the same thing, but then I dry brushed.
Slap shot. I think that's slap shot.
Yeah.
Technically by the terminology. Yeah.
Got it. So I prefer that if I have time.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's smoother. It's not quite as grainy looking, in my opinion. But this is definitely much faster. Saves you like almost a whole.
Grainy. Apparently, Alex has those 4K eyes, Matt. You and I. Of course, I got my glasses off. You're wearing yours, so it's, I guess, makes sense.
That's fair. So painting an army in 4 days was really fun. It actually, getting an army completed that fast in that short amount of time gets me excited to paint more.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, because in 2024, I painted 2 models from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm already at like 62 for 2025.
Now, are those 2 because you started your army on New Year's Eve, or was that something?
Nope, those 2 random models. It was like a World Eaters Terminator, the one with the Warhammer Plus, the Ashag, I think. And then it was a Skaven model I needed for Skaven army. That's about it. And lately, yesterday, I worked on the fellowship
Okay.
for Matt's eventual Middle Earth strategy battle game tournament.
Yeah.
He's going
As
to put.
soon as GW gets on my level.
That's right.
That would be a future episode where the three of us talk about that game system. I look forward to that one.
Yeah, I've been reading some of the rules and being very confused, but
See,
I've been working on
Trust
the
me.
fellowship.
Alex, let me give you a piece of advice. Don't even open the rules. Buy the book like I did, and then make Matt teach you everything. And then,
That's exactly what I do.
yeah, and in a year and a half time, when you decide to play again, have him teach it to you again.
That might exactly end up what's happening.
I am pretty sure I've taught the game more than I've played the game.
Oh, you've taught the game a lot. I usually like it when you're teaching me while I'm playing you. So
Oh yeah.
Because then you
It
have
doesn't matter. You're going to do whatever you're going to do one way or the other, regardless of what the
I can't help it.
uh,
That's good. Any other hobby going on right now, Alex? Like, or what are you painting? What's your future? I guess looking like.
I really don't know. It depends what we play, right? Because if we're going to play more Old World, I would like to finish out the Goblin army for Old World. If we get into Middle Earth, I might work on other warbands because I have Moria as well. Yeah, I just don't know. Maybe if we get back into AOS, I might do another AOS army. I don't know. Depends what we play.
That's fair. I would say do Old World since the mojo's there and there's no other plans. Stick with what we're playing. Oh no, oh wait. Oh, I thought he froze. I was like, oh no, we lost him. Okay, we're good.
Actually, also been reading a lot of Old World novels. So I'm finishing Riders of the Dead right now.
Nice.
If you haven't read this, I would highly recommend. I'm about 70% through the book, and it's Dan Abnett, so it's been phenomenal.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I guess with my hobby, it was pretty lackluster, literally until today. And I had the urge and finally finished up the 11 Lumineth models I got from the Ho Ho Hobby Vices gift exchange.
Nice.
Yep, put those up on my Instagram, so go check that out over there because I forgot to download pictures to show everybody on the podcast. I built the 4 models from Gore Chosen, and I Zenithal primed them, which is why I knew exactly what you did with Zenithal priming because I literally just did it minutes before the show began.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm gonna be working on that next couple days. I have a couple Bretonian models up next. Mike Keo, who came to Tayrathi, it's hard to see, printed me out a Lord on
Nice.
Hippogriff, which
That's
was
awesome.
fun. And then I did a little bits exchange. I feel bad. Paul Conti, Radio Free Hammer Hall over on YouTube. Go check him out. He just did a great discussion about the double turn for Sigmar. But we were going to do a bits exchange because he needed some Daughters of Cain bits. So I said, send me Empire. Because that's all he kind of had for Old World. And what I didn't know is he also had pretty much the bits for a Green Knight that he found on his shelf and he just gave me. He's like, it needs a home. So it's the horse. It's a different knight, but I kind of just kit bashed it. So I have a Green Knight conversion
That's awesome.
with the official horse that I'll be painting too. So
Yeah.
after Gore Chosen, there'll be some Bretonians, and then either my orc stuff that arrives or one of the other projects I got sitting here. We'll tune back next week to see what happens.
Did you say orc stuff?
I bought the terrain feature and the endless spells for
Sure.
Warclans.
I'm still in the Old World mindset. I'm like, is Chuck starting another army for Old World?
I mean, just
What are you talking about?
just Lizardman.
Chuck's all
Yeah,
about
that's
the green
fair.
tide.
Roll on Green Tide.
Are you going to play the Gore Chosen? Have you looked at the rules at all?
Oh no, I want to. Like, that's why I'm gonna paint them up.
Yeah.
I want to play. I heard it's a phenomenal board game, so I'm
Really?
painting them up, putting them all together. That way, I can take it to someone's house. That's like it's just a board game, so doesn't need to be a war game person to play it. So yeah, I heard it's fantastic.
I'd be interested to play. I like those smaller, like individual model Warhammer games.
Yeah. Actually, regarding books, so I've gotten back into reading. I'm still reading through Double Eagle right now, but then I have the Malice Darkblade series coming up, and then I was missing one of the End Times Malice Darkblade books, which was in an omnibus for the End Times for the elf stuff, which I found on eBay for a price I was willing to pay. So that's coming soon too.
Cool.
Yeah. So got some books coming too. And then
Mhm.
obviously, I got some gifts from Neil, who didn't make the event, but he printed out and sent it to me. So a couple of the busts from Bust Workshop, uh, for my plan to paint a bust every quarter this year. So I got the first two printed out and ready, and I bought the third, and I sent him the file. So
Nice.
it's like, hey, since you did two, you can do one more. But yeah, lots of hobby. It's feeling good. The mojo is going after the Tayrathi.
Afraid, do we know what busts you're working on,
Yeah, so
or
I
is that
have
a surprise?
if you go to Bust Workshop, for lack of better terms, one's a Seaguard, High Elf Seaguard, one's Marathi,
That's right.
and
Yep.
then the
yep.
third one I just bought is they just came out with not terribly long ago a Yvrain model from 40k, which I play that army too.
Mm, That's
So
cool.
trying to find my fourth model. I have an idea. It might be a surprise. Anyway.
A lot of elves. Sensing
Grugny.
theme.
Oh, the fourth
Easy.
one's gonna be an elf too. Don't you worry.
Oh, Grugny.
It's gonna be a dwarf.
Nah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be an elf. All right. Well, as I realized that I had my camera off center there, now we're good to go. Now we can talk about Tayrathi.
Woo!
There goes the excitement. So yeah, so Tayrathi, obviously named after my custom character Tayrathi, who is an official lore for Age of Sigmar. Yep.
Your official character, Tayrathi.
Yep, my official original character Tayrathi. I don't know how to describe that, but
OOC.
OOC. But yeah, so every year, thereabout, I hold an invitational event. It's usually just local friends, so don't think it's some big pomp and circumstance thing. It's just my friends hanging out, playing war games, and having a good time together.
I mean, we have gotten the body count up there pretty high. So
Yeah, it's probably gonna slim down because that's a lot of people, and it's a nightmare to run.
Yeah, Matt and I are not invited next year.
Yeah, Matt's out, Alex is out. Sorry. If you're from Ohio, you're definitely out.
It's just you and people at the barn. that's
Nah, that's
just a barn night.
That's called every Wednesday.
Yeah.
No, it'll be a little bit slimmer, but I think everybody's aware of it too. So like, no one's gonna be like too upset because it's not gonna be like drastically smaller. It's not gonna be 5 people, but it's a lot of people to fit in one space. And anyway, I'll complain about dishes later. But yeah, so it happens every year. It's whatever game system I feel. So it's always been Sigmar or Fantasy. This year we did the Old World. It was a good time. So we had a nice number of people. So we'll review the pack first, just to give everybody an idea of what's going on with it. But it's an Old World doubles event. So let me get the pack up here. I see Matt's on top of it doing the same. I assume Alex is following suit.
Mhm.
Now, of course, exclusive news here first. Tayrathi next year, it's going to be Moonstone. Moonstone, get there ready.
Moonstone. No, it's always gonna be Warhammer. Something.
What is Moonstone?
Don't ask. No,
Ooh.
don't stop. No,
Ooh.
don't make him answer. Do not make him answer.
It's the Skaven are involved, so I'm in.
Okay.
Or
All right. Anyway.
goblins.
Anyway, Moonstone talk coming from Big M's Power Hour sometime this year if he gets back to recording videos. All right, you guys got the pack up?
Yep.
All right. So, Tayrathi Classic 5 event pack. 4-round invitational doubles event. Caveat on that 4-round real quick. Using Old Worlds. It's my event. I host it. Barn Owls kind of help because they have the venue. And they've also helped with food. The event will see teams of 2 compete against each other, 1,200 points, follow core rules, all that sort of percentage, all that sort of fun stuff. Models must be fully painted and base. Some exceptions apply. No list submitted, but you have to have one on file. So essentially, you had to have a list at the start of the event, and you couldn't change it round by round. And all armies must have a narrative named hero, cannot be unique named hero. And a little schedule here, just for some fun. They try and keep us on schedule. It doesn't work.
No.
It never works. But when you have no time to leave the venue, it's fine. All right, so some basic awards we had. Tayrathi's champion. Actually, or Matt, do you have this up? Would you like to read the awards?
Sure. So first we had Tayrathi's champion, the player who captured the most banners in combat, friend or foe, during the event. Of course, this means you had to have your melee unit melee down another unit that had
A
a
banner.
banner.
Mhm.
And then you had honorary member of the Tayrathian cult. Player kills the most points, friend or foe in combat. Easy enough on that one. Coolest Kane, coolest army by player vote. The Halls of Kane, best written narrative by player vote. Friend of Kane, favorite opponent, whole team. So it couldn't be like, I like Chuck and Alex. Screw their partners. By player vote. Bathed in the blood of Kane, or bathed in Kane's blood, best painted hero by TO decision.
That's right. And of course, there's the exemplary awards of the championship belt and the Brick of Shame, which isn't really a Brick of Shame anymore. It's now actually a good award. But you see the prior winners there. The teams we had, and I'm going to try to remember all these armies as well, so just to give people a recap. So we had Mark and Dave, which was Bretonnians and Wood Elves. Luke and Brandon, which was High Elves and Chaos Warriors. Matt and Jess, which was Dwarves and Tomb Kings. Mike and Alex, which was Bretonnians and Goblins, technically. Ben and Robert, which a little bit of a change there because Robert went down, had a twisted ankle because it was snowy as all get out there. But Ben paired up with Quentin ultimately, which would have been Beast of Chaos and Dark Elves. Carl got sick. Terry did not. Cole got sick. Jake did not. So obviously those two paired back up, which was Orcs and Orcs, which was a great
Yeah,
combo.
that was fun.
And then Rich also took ill, so he was out. And then we had Brad and Mark, which was Orcs and Dark Elves. And then there was Chuck and Chuck, because as the ringer, you got to fill all the duties. I actually brought two separate lists, and I recorded everything separately. But it was High Elves and High Elves.
Nobody's surprised.
Nobody's surprised. I almost brought High Elves, Dark Elves, but I was just like, I don't want to reconcile that in my head.
It's way too much thinking too.
Yeah, it would have been way too much. Yep. Battle that happened in Saturday evening. Our friend Tom, who works night shift, pretty much brought his entire collection that he had painted out, and everybody versus him that wanted to play against him, and those helped towards the points towards awards. Alex, would you like to read us the event narrative if you have the thing up?
Yeah, of
Real
course.
quick, as far as the boss battle goes, I was thinking about this the day after.
Yeah.
I was like, because one of the things I was thinking about doing was putting together Chaos Dwarf army instead of dwarves. And one of the artillery the Chaos Dwarves has access to is the Dreadquake Mortar,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
where wherever it hits, you roll 2d6, and all models within that range, whatever 2d6 inches, are -1 to movement and lose swift stride.
That sucks.
Oh.
That's awful.
And I was thinking, I was like, I don't know what would have happened if I would have just been like, and I'll bring a couple of these, put them on the back line, and just hit whatever hell I want.
Yeah, that would have been great, actually. I would love that.
Game would take much longer.
Yep.
No one goes anywhere.
It was surprisingly a pretty not a crazy long game either.
No, actually, it went along pretty quickly, but we'll talk about it when we get there. A little more detail for those of us that played. Alex?
Yes.
Anyway, event narrative.
I've played, but different game. All right, let's read that narrative. The old world is on the precipice of total war. Allies are thin these days, and delicate fates dictate survival at any cost. Tayrathi's gambit in the old world. The azure banners of Illyrian fluttered in the mountain winds as Tayrathi, a proud high elf noble, surveyed the fractured old world. A scion of the swift riders of Illyrian, Tayrathi had come to this tumultuous land not for conquest but for salvation. Illyrian's plains had grown restless with portents of chaos, and the Phoenix King sought to establish a sanctuary, a bastion of high elven order amidst the mortal world's despair. Yet she knew that the old world's factions would not welcome her presence unopposed. The Evermore Bastion. Nestled within a hidden glade in the Forest of Shadows, Tayrathi and her host claimed the ruins of Evermore, an ancient elven outpost abandoned after the Sundering. She began transforming it into a gleaming sanctuary, raising white stone spires and crafting waystones to anchor its defenses. Her vision and duty were not only to protect her kind, but also to act as a guiding light for the beleaguered mortal races. However, Tarathi's idealism faced immediate challenges. Word of her arrival spread quickly, and the surrounding factions, desperate for control or wary of her intentions, began to converge. The victors would either join Tarathi's Evermore Bastion in its defense or destroy it utterly.
Boom. So there is our setup for our event. And then real quick, just to add on a little flavor, we're gonna do a little FAQ chat ahead of time. So we know why we're at this event, and we're playing Old World. But I changed something because I can't help myself. I'm like Neil whenever someone mentions about writing a campaign pack. You just got to make it, right?
And then play it once and abandon it. Hey.
So I adjusted the. I didn't adjust what magic was in this game. I didn't adjust when it was cast because I like the spells. I like when they're cast. But I did adjust the whole just straight 2d6 to cast a spell because that really just creates a situation of did you bring a level 4 or not. So I capped people's wizard levels as a team to 5, so they could bring a 4 and a 1, a 2, 2 and 1, 3, 5 ones, whatever they wanted. But I brought in the old version of the Magic phase from 8th edition where there's the dice pool. So essentially, you still have to dispel based upon your range as a level 3, 4, 1, or 2. But you roll dice at the start of the phase, you get a magic pool that you get to hold out through the entire turn as magic's being cast. And then you can throw at max 6 dice to any spell. Double ones, double sixes still apply. Fated dispels were still in play, but you could limit to 3 dice only. And if you wanted to dispel, you could throw as many as you wanted if you were within range. So it gave those 1s and 2s a chance to stop the 3s and 4s, essentially. But with that, I do have to ask because that's a pretty big change to Old World rules. I know I think I might have more games than you guys, but I'm curious what your thoughts were after the event. What you thought about using the 8th edition dice resource with the new Magic stuff in play.
I'll go first. Yeah, I actually liked it a lot. Probably the main reason because I only played 2 regular games of Old World beforehand, so I didn't really know what I was missing. And I've played a lot of 8th edition games, so I was like, oh, same rules, yay! And also the fact that both teams were limited by it, I did not feel like it was unbalanced.
Okay, Matt, your thoughts as a dwarf player?
Yeah, largely they didn't impact me. The most thing that impacted me was the ridiculously short.
Your mic's going in and out a little bit, Matt. Just so you know.
In and out.
Yep.
In and out.
In and
All
out.
right. Let's try
Like
that.
yeah, you.
So
there you go.
all right. So the again, obviously it didn't impact me too much. The biggest thing that impacted me was Old World's rules as written, ridiculously short dispel ranges, which is criminal.
Yeah.
Especially against dwarves that get no, like, we have our bonus to, well, kind of a bonus to dispel, but like, okay, no one's going to come within 18 inches of any of my characters, so what does it matter? But no, I thought it actually worked out really well. I thought it allowed people to get 1 or 2 really good spells off per turn, and it prevented 4 wizards just running roughshod all over the place.
Gotcha. Your mic's still a little bit wonky, Matt. It's doing that thing that it's been doing since we've been playing video games lately.
Nerds.
Yeah, we're nerds. Yeah, we hang out all the time, Alex. Come on. Yeah, Marvel Rivals, because there's great cake in that game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, some dudes got booty.
That's true. Yeah, some do too. Yeah, there's cake everywhere.
Of course, that's where you go there, bud. Huh?
Okay, well, I'm glad it worked out. No one seemed to hate it. It didn't seem to cause. I had 0 questions about it, honestly. Other than, hey, how does this work? How does this work for people's first time doing it? But I was happy that it ported in without any issues and didn't seem to break the game in any way. So
Yeah.
that's the goal. Like I wanted it to be a resource so everyone felt like they had a shot, and it did. Like even me, like I felt like I was doing okay in Magic, even though I only brought 1 wizard across both my armies.
Mhm.
It was level 4, but still. Yeah, but I guess let's start high level. Start with you, Matt. High level, how was Tayrathi for you?
The event was awesome. The army's still fighting me tooth and nail.
Fair. What about you, Alex?
I loved it. It's my favorite event of the year consistently. Even the years I do go to cons or like go to a con usually, or like maybe a couple smaller events, this is still my consistently my favorite event of the year because I just get to play games with friends, have beer, smoke cigar. It's a great time.
Close is also good.
Well, yeah, 15 minutes away is very, very nice.
It is. It is. Yeah, no, I thought, I mean, it ran really well. Successful event. It's always, every event I've ever ran, and you guys know this, it's like while I'm running it, it's the worst decision of my life. And then once it's over, it was the best thing I've ever done. I think that's every TO experience to a certain degree. But yeah, we ended up only playing 3 games in total just because the times was taking a little long time, and we had a nasty snowstorm coming in Sunday night, and some of the longer driving folks, like Matt, and then some of the Ohio folks, it's like, why don't we just wrap up early so everyone get home and be safe. But the folks who came down with a sickness, thankfully it came down before they traveled, so that makes things a little bit easier, so they don't have to suffer. But yeah, all in all, good time, great food, great games, and all that sort of stuff. So I got a couple pictures here I'll start bringing on, but while we do that, Alex, why don't you start with us? Give us like a rundown of you and Mike's games, just loosely. Don't have to, like, any cool moments, anything that popped up in your head there.
Sure, sure. Yeah. First of all, our team name was awesome. We had team shirts. I don't know if you can pull them up.
I forgot to. Yeah, it was a good
It's
name.
okay.
Yeah.
Go to my Instagram, fit_hammer. And if you look at some of the recent posts, I have our team shirts. I'll just describe it to you. It's Ronnie Coleman, Arnold, Carl Franz, Titus from Space Marine 2, and Eddie Hall deadlifting 500 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the top it says ADHD.
You forgot someone most important.
Who else was there?
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill was there as the actor, of course. And above it, it says ADHD, and on the back it says always down, and then small letters, to play war, capital H, hammer, dude.
Yep.
Those were our team.
It's a good
It
name.
was lovely.
I mean, you're the only one there for team name. If there was an award for best team name, you would have won.
That's right. We tried for an award that didn't even exist.
Exactly.
But the games were great. Mike is a great friend. He's also into fitness. So we actually hit a workout, hit a gym beforehand,
Nice.
had a practice game the day before for Mike because he was a little rusty, and myself. And our games were great. We had honestly, our lists, we made our list before coming to the tournament, where we did call each other one time to talk about our lists and, synergies. And we didn't have to change anything, and our list just worked very well. So I had a very kind of catering to the way I play the game. I play any game. I sit back, cast spells, and shoot. Kind of, what's the right word?
Castle?
Like castle up, yeah, castle up.
Cowardly.
Yeah, cowardly, like
Says
goblins
the
just
dwarf.
No. I castle. He cowers. All right.
That's a brave castle. I'm a coward castle. And he was obviously very offensive with his Bretonians, very quick charges. So it was really worked well together, even though it made no sense for them to pair up lore-wise. But
desperate times and delicate fates. That's why I put that word in there.
Absolutely.
I just assumed that the Bretonians just thought they were all peasants and was like, ooh, something must be going around.
It's the green plague. But yeah, it was great. We actually ended up winning every game we played, and certainly didn't make it any less fun. But I think even if we lost all of them, it would have been really great fun to pair up with our teams and enjoy some Warhammer.
That's fun because I'm not sure if you're going to do what I do and put trophies on your bases for the games you won against your opponents. You should. Winning wasn't a matter of anything of import in this event, but it's always good to get a win for sure.
Yeah, it was a fun time. There were some really fun things that happened throughout it. And
what's your favorite moment from any game?
One of my hero and a squig just never dying in combat.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah. The only way he dies is he flees because he's leadership 6. So he would just flee and somebody would overrun him, but he never actually died in combat.
Oh, that's awesome. Saving those
Yeah,
points.
Yeah.
Matt, how was you and Jess's pairing? What was the games like? How'd you do? And I guess give me a key favorite moment from your game.
Yeah. So the games were I would say the first and the last one are very interesting. The second one was very, very short.
Okay.
um Essentially I kind of had a good plan in theory, and it just I think the we kind of abandoned it turn 3 against Alex, which probably actually would have worked there. But we were basically going to just have me hold the front line and then let things run into me. And then Jess, who was playing Tomb Kings, was then all chariots, by the way, was also just going to like come and swoop things around. However, game one, we played um, Luke and Brandon. And
Okay. They had two
just
dragons. They had two dragons. That was rough. That was rough.
what's funny is like, despite I think they were so scared, or not scared, but just cautious of the dwarven firepower, that they kind of like held back a lot. And
Yeah.
so it was like turn 4 before we really started clashing into combat.
Oh, okay.
Um, Again, not that my cannons did anything.
Yeah, oh yeah. Sadly.
I think they managed to do 2 wounds to Luke's high elf dragon. Um, that was about it for that one. But yeah, I we essentially deployed across the entire width of the table, since we just had so many models.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know what? We like right here. And I'm like, cool, because our hill with all the artillery was over here. And I was like, that's again, thankfully cannons have a long enough range that I was able to still get them involved.
Yeah.
It's just like, and there's 48. Come on, 10.
Uh,
We did end up winning that one. Now
Nice.
that one was I'll admit a little mentally draining, just because I was trying to get back on track with Old World. Jess is very familiar with her army, but not necessarily like she'll know a rule, but she won't know why that rule is.
Yeah. She knows it within the
But
context of her own stuff.
right,
But yeah, she plays Old World like we play Sigmar. I know my stuff. I just hope you know your stuff because I don't know your stuff. Yeah.
right,
But
right.
but it
Like
works.
we
Yeah.
had like I 'cause she was also asking me for rule clarifications, so I was trying to like, okay, well, let's go with it. And so, like, one of the big examples was with the Tomb Kings always hit on a 5 for shooting.
Yep.
I was like, oh, okay, well, they always hit on 5s because their ballistic score is 2, and not knowing that they have a rule that just says always hit on 5s no matter what.
Yeah.
So, like, we had like one round where we did it wrong,
Sure.
and then I eventually was like, oh, now I see why you were saying that. And then she was like, oh, yeah, 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 that's why people told me to do it that way.
I'm better than you, man.
She can
Stop
play her
talking.
she plays her army very well. Just don't question
um,
her.
and then I said, Brandon and Luke also needed a little help with the rules in general, but they were very good with their army rules.
Mhm.
Yeah, so with everyone trying to like kind of learn rules at the same time, I think the game turned out to be like 5 hours long.
Well, you just cut out. You said 5 hours long.
Yeah, it was like 5 hours long. So like I had dinner while we were playing, and then as soon as we were done, we had to wrap up and move over to the next table to start our next game.
Yeah.
And it was literally like someone just put my brain in the toaster for like
Uh,
That's fair. That's
um,
fair.
game two. Here, just a little behind the scenes because I have to put on a little song and dance here. This is because I know this is what Terry wants. That son of a bitch Terry and his partner Jake with their dirty, disgusting orcs.
Filthy. Terrible.
Hate
So
all.
we did a little bit better job with deployment on this side. So we did a little bit better job castling, kind of keeping things in like a central point around a hill. And so we were hoping that they would come to us, and they did.
I mean, their orcs are gonna
Um,
come at you.
right,
Right?
exactly. The problem is we got the once in a decade perfect cast of Foot of Gork.
Oh no. Yeah.
that literally just
Story.
hit the bottom. He rolled like all sixes for everything, wounded everything. I didn't save anything. So like he destroyed an entire unit of Iron Drakes. He took another unit of Iron Drakes down to like one. I rolled 12 for the panic test, and then I rolled 12 to flee. So they rose straight off the table.
Fastest dwarves in the West.
They ran through my cannons, and oh my gosh, it was just a nightmare. So then, and that was the bottom of turn one. So then the top of turn two, whenever it was our turn again, the foot moves again, and he rolled spread, or he rolled the
scatter.
the scatter straight across our line, and of course he rolled the 10. So it crossed the entire army and just destroyed everything. And we're like, okay, good game.
Yeah. Very orcish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Giant foot stomping.
Well, before you talk about your next game, just so you know, there was a game at the barn last night where Brad and Jake Orc teamed up against Empire, and with Bob, who couldn't make it, as well as Brandon and his Chaos. And let me just say, it wasn't going as well. It did okay, but he got his comeuppance not only in that game, but also in the third game.
Well, that's what Jake said. Jake was like, it's never done anything close to that before. I didn't know it was possible.
Yeah. It's a great spell, though. It's a really good spell.
If it works, it works. Yeah. How was your third game?
Oh, I faced this jerk.
Oh man, oh man.
I wouldn't say there was any major tactical error, but considering that my dice the only time my dice found anything higher than a 3, his dice found nothing but 6s. So
it was great.
Yeah.
He put so much shots and so much effort in killing that squig hero. I think for 2 turns he was shooting him down, and he took 1 wound.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's like, okay, here's 3 whole units of Iron Drakes, like essentially 2s and 2s the whole way across, and well, that's just too much to ask.
Yeah, I would bet on those Iron Drakes every time, honestly, in that situation. So
yeah, dice was hot.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Well, what was your favorite key moment from the entire event? I guess, or games. Let's do games. We'll do event later.
Let's see here. From the first game when my cannon did damage.
Yep.
The second game when I have to look at Terry's face anymore.
That's a good one. That's a great one. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Terry's from Tale of Four Warlords. Go check out his army over on that little.
Terry, it's a bit. Thanks for the game. And then I would say in our game, whenever Jess got to charge that giant block with Cetra in it.
Oh yeah.
Now I will say the block really didn't do much, but Cetra finally, after 2 games, was like, you know what? I think it's time to do some work.
The chariots around Cetra are not there for anything other than to give Cetra extra wounds so he can carry the army. Yep.
Right. That game was hilarious because it was Jess's first time learning what fanatics do.
Oh yeah.
Like, what do you mean I can target them? Yeah, you can target. What do you mean I can charge them? Yep, you can charge them.
Yep.
What do you mean they do damage if I go through them? It was really funny.
I'm still forever upset so far that you can't target fanatics in shooting.
It's dumb. It's the rules. But
I get it. But I just feel like if I'm shooting fanatics, I'm already screwing up anyway. So anyway, okay, no, that's good. My games. I guess to start, my first one was against Ben and Quentin. Quentin brought a dragon, which was great to see. Loved it. It was painted beautifully. And boy, did I put the placings right of my 2 armies, because whatever I threw against Ben just overwhelmed him. And what I had against Quentin just held on long enough for me to get some banners off of Ben, because that dragon just tore through me. I had things to deal with the dragon, but I needed to roll slightly above average, and I did not. I had like 2 wounds left, and I lost the game, but did lots of killing, lots of banners, had a good time. And like I said, it was nice because I think it was like Ben's first game with his Beast of Chaos so they had a good time. It was solid. Second game I played against Dave and Mark, and at this point I'm like, okay, I did well on banners, and I realized this after because we had a score sheet up where we would all self score your kill points and your banners, and I scored my two lists separately, to keep it fair. And I was like, oh, I did really well on banners. I should keep chasing banners. Dave, you son of a bitch, didn't bring a single banner. I had to fight tooth and nail to get 2 banners off of Mark. While like Dave's coming at me with his treatment. I'm like, stop, go away, like eat this, and like I'm just like throwing everything I can at Mark. I lost that game real hard. But I got 2 banners out of it. Actually, that was also in that game was probably my favorite moment because the Green Knight challenged out Tayrathi, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna accept. And it went till turn 6, and he finally got her by a single wound.
That's
And
awesome.
that's the first, and also Mark was so excited because that's the first time Mark has beaten my high elves like ever with his Bretonians. He was through the moon. And to be fair, honestly, Dave probably carried it on the kill points for them too, just
Sure.
because I was just so focused on getting banners that like Dave would just sweep up the rest. So it was a solid win for both of them.
Yeah.
But I got my banner, so I felt good. And then my third game was against Brandon and Luke. I also have to say real quick in that first game with Quentin. Listen, I know Dark Elves are a renegade army. They're not like a fully supported army, but they're not the best. But boy, all those rerolls they get against High Elves is pretty great. And there's a lot
Sure,
of
that
High Elves
helps.
in our meta locally. So, anyway, so I played Luke and Brandon, and watching them put down 2 dragons after I struggled to deal with 1, I was like, all right. So I was like, all right, math. Okay. Who are the people close enough to me on banners playing? These people. Okay, at max they can get this many banners. So if I can guarantee this many banners, I'll keep the banner award. And I was excited because I've never won an award at my own event, either because I
Yeah.
didn't play or I just didn't have a shot at it. I'm like, I want to win an award at my own event, so I was pushing for it. So I took out some banners. 2 of them were my own. I cannibalized my own army. My one list that had the banner score and the other one that had like very few banner score, just what if these lion chariots just attack these Lothran Seaguard? By the way, can I say my lion chariots have never done better in combat than when they were fighting my own guys. And I was rolling for myself. I had 2 dice trays back and forth. Brandon was watching me, and he's just watching me. He's just like, I didn't know those things could do that. I'm like, I didn't either.
That's hilarious.
They
That's
were
very
they were so clutch. It makes me want to bring like 12 of them, but like when I do, they don't roll that well.
just fight yourself.
Yeah,
That's
just
all you
fight
do.
myself.
Yeah.
But then it turned into a lot of picking off what I could, holding off the dragons, and it became a last stand of the Handmaiden, Tayrathi, and the Sisters of Avalor, just shooting off as many points as I could before they went down. It was a good game. For my kill, since I was only chasing banners, by the way, with the kill points, what I did is I said, okay, after I killed my own troops, I looked at my opponents and I said, you guys roll off. The winner gets the kill points for it.
Nice.
Brandon notoriously does not care. His points are NA. He started the game. He started every game and just put NA on the board. He's like, I'm just having fun.
That's why I kept track of his kill points in our game, and I made sure to write them on up there.
Yeah. Wouldn't you know it? Brandon won every roll. Luke would have tripled his score on kill points from me killing myself alone if Brandon didn't roll slightly better than him.
Wow.
It was
That's
kind of comic. Like they were arguing with each other afterwards. I was just like, or like during the event, I'm like, this is fun. I love this. This is what this whole thing's about. But yeah, great games. I lost every single game, but had a good time. So let me, Alex, why don't you give me like just like let's talk about that Saturday night. So there's the boss battle. Matt,
Sure.
did you play in the boss battle for long, or did you go to bed?
No, Alex and I played.
Oh, that's right. You're there. Okay. Okay. So there's the boss battle happening, but then there's another group that went to go play some Zombicide. So while I show pictures of the event that I have, why don't you guys talk about a little bit of Zombicide that happened Saturday night?
Sure. Before you go there, your game with the Luke and Brandon reminded me
Oh,
of
yeah.
probably my actual specific favorite part of the event as far as tabletop goes. And it was when Luke said, whoever kills my high elf dragon gets the fantasy belt. and
Ooh,
that Sigmar
Matt,
fantasy belt.
Matt's belt he brought.
Matt's belt, yep.
Actually,
And Luke was the current holder of the belt, and he said, "Whoever kills my High Elf Dragon gets my belt," because we challenged him for it. And Mike charged it. We basically said, "Whoever kills it first kills it." So it was very fair. Mike charged it with 2 units of Bretonnian Knights. He charged it with his general, unit of Bretonnian Knights, maybe something else. It only had 2 wounds left because I threw my Fanatics at it beforehand. And wouldn't you know, I throw my Doom Diver at it, pinpoint it, and kill it.
I have a nice picture of you up right now with that ADHD shirt as well as the
Very
belt in
good.
hand. So
Very good. But Mike was Mike was hilariously upset at the fact that he was in combat, but I got to shoot it before they actually did combat.
hey, Luke didn't say it had to be in combat. Luke just threw that out. You're right. And
I'd like to point out that I took out that dragon after I did the damage with the cannon. I believe it got into combat with Jess for 1 round, and then 2 rounds of shooting from 2 dwarf rangers took it out.
oh wow.
Wow.
I got it down to 1 wound. I failed to take it out.
Nope,
I didn't
just
kill a single dragon this whole event.
little dwarf rangers. Pew pew.
Gosh darn it. But yeah, but that's a key thing. Alex is the current barn fantasy Sigmar belt holder, so we'll keep you updated on that as it goes around. But yeah, tell us about the Saturday Night Zombicide before I talk about the boss battle, and I'll show some pictures here of the just general game session.
Sure. Zombicide is one of my favorite games. That's a board game. It's not like a tabletop strategy game like Warhammer related. It's just a great game. If you haven't tried Zombicide, you should definitely play it. There is all kind of flavors for it. We played the Wild West one, I believe, and it was fun. If you know Zombicide, you just play as a survivor on a map. You find gear, you level up, and you find zombies and complete quests.
Yeah, this is my first time playing Zombicide. I've I know a bunch of people that play it, but I've never actually played it before. So whenever I got the opportunity to do so, I was like, I'm not going anywhere. Sure, let's get it on. And I was really glad I did. It was I'm trying to think about like potentially picking up one of the different versions myself, just because it does seem like a good game to pull out whenever you have
What was that?
a little bit of time.
Speak up.
So it's
There
a
you go.
good game to have whenever you have a little bit of time,
Okay.
especially with the amount of characters they have and the amount of gear there is. Like you can basically play almost the same mission over and over again, and it's never going to go the same way twice.
Nice. Okay. Let's get. Yeah, it looks like you guys are having a good time. I won't lie. There's like 3 of you guys up there smoking cigars, and then like down at the boss battle, like there's people smoking cigarettes. I had to go outside multiple times that night. Ooh.
Is it
Matt, I don't
smoky?
know how you were surviving up there because I know you're like me. You don't do any of it really, other than
Yeah,
maybe a
my
cigar on occasion.
I grew up with a smoking parent, but yeah, my
Oh,
code is still airing out.
okay. Like I,
That's hilarious.
I'll do. I was gonna do cigar that night, but like the smoke was getting overwhelming from not smoking. I'm like,
You
I
got
don't know how
enough.
I could do this. That's good. Yeah, it looks like you guys had a good time. It was fun, but the boss battle itself. So our big table, so 6 feet long, or no, 12 feet long.
Mhm.
Yeah, whatever it is. Tom took a whole one side of it. He did recruit Brandon onto his side early to kind of have like a little bit of a help going
Traitor,
through it. What was that?
traitor.
He was a traitor. And then everybody else just kind of lined up and filled up. And it was great. Like I loved it because like we had dinner, there's a small lull, and people just lined up to go against Tom. And obviously Tom was the GM, so like I at this point I'm not interfering. Whatever Tom says on this table goes. The only thing I disallowed was Tom could not gift victory points or banners. You still had to earn those. So that, and like with that stipulation, he ran wild, put down everything. People were going left and right. Like I said, there was barely any room. Like I was gonna join in right away, but it was so full. I'm sitting there like I'm just gonna wait till people go forward a little bit. I'll bring in a small force in the back and just kind of have some fun. Which is what I ended up doing. But yeah, what was unexpected, because during the course of like the Tayrathi event, I expected more people to backstab their friends, which didn't happen a lot. which is fine. You know, means the pairing was just perfect. But in this event, everyone's like, oh yeah, we're backstabbing left and right. People were changing allegiances, siding with Tom. Like there was like at one point everybody but like 3 of us were sided with Tom, and it's just like even Tom's just like, one of you needs to switch back. This is ridiculous. um, but like I said, went well. We actually went all 6 turns, and then there was, I mean, there wasn't a planned conclusion anyway, but went through 6 turns, and then we did 3 more. It was like stop.
That was awesome.
It's like reset back to 0. Nothing happened. Like models are in the same position. We changed up sides a little bit and just kept going. I took on Tayrathi on a horse as well. It's the same gears what was in the, because everyone was bringing their same armies, and then just the Unit Dragon Princess. And I went around, caused a little havoc, killed a few things, and then eventually just got completely ruined because I was just like, you know what would be fun? I'm going to flee from every single charge. And you typically only get 1 flee reaction, but Tom charged me, I fled. And then Mark was next to me, charged me, and I fled. So I was ping-ponging around, just fleeing until someone finally caught me.
That's awesome.
It's like, hey, you get the points in the banner. There you go. Yeah, that was really good. I want to bring that back, but you know, I also don't want Tom to work night shifts to make that happen. But we also, like I said, we finished it probably it was like 1 a.m. It was done. I bet it wasn't too late for like a late night event.
Tayrathi.
Yeah,
I was surprised how quickly you guys got done, considering you went for like
with
bunch of turns.
with Tom game managing it and being the GM, like he kept things up the pace.
Good.
What were you gonna say, Matt?
2 minutes. Till the
Oh,
call in.
2 minutes. Okay. Tell you what, let's take a short pause here, and we will reconvene in just 1 second. All right, and we are back to get through this. So, yeah, all in all, great event. Mini event went well. The food was delicious. Shout outs to Quentin, Bobby, and Brandon for each cooking a delicious meal for us. I actually have to say it was nice. This year we took I did entry fee, even though it's an invitational, because it covers costs for the food as well as for the rooms, which was really nice. Extra shout outs to Quentin because he got a lot of deer this hunting season, so all that stew deer was him. So yeah, extra shout
The
outs.
food was delicious. The food was amazing.
Yeah.
Better than any.
Always.
We actually had
Maybe
one.
that's the reason I like it.
What's that?
Maybe that's the reason I like Tayrathi.
The food. We had one more meal prepped, so we had that actually at club night the other night. It was
Oh,
an American
nice.
goulash, so it was very good. Like with beef. Oh, it was amazing.
That's great.
But yeah, real quick, so just a few other pictures to show off for the Tayrathi real quick. So just a picture of some of the awards, pretty typical. If you're at home trying to do your own sort of event, Walmart has these 8x12 frames. You can print off a sheet of paper with an award. You just can do some quick Photoshop or paint.netting with to some good effect. Every year, out of pocket for me, Tayrathi always gifts all the attendees a little gift. So this year it was this tin cup with the event logo and the name and the date on it. So I was really pleased with that. I have mine over here as well. Matt, yours is over here with the stuff you forgot as you were rushing away from the snow, but it's safe and sound. Alex, I assume you have yours?
Mine is now officially my paint cup.
Ooh, there you go. That's the thing. Like some people are like, "Oh, I don't want this to be my paint cup." I'm like, it can absolutely be your paint cup.
Like mine was just like some other plastic random cup. So now I have Tayrathi to look at every time.
Yeah, exactly. Paint cup, coffee cup, whatever it is, whatever you have, it's good. And as always, we started the event with it, and actually we ended the event with Taylor Swift: The Eras Tour. I watched it.
There was a time where it wasn't on.
There
Fair.
was. I was being nice. But yes, that happened. I mean, there was lots of Taylor Swift music that just randomly would go on, so it was a good time. You got to play into the bit, I guess. As
Everything what was happening in the background was kind of like a fever dream because it kept switching up.
Yeah, well, with Bobby hurting his ankle and
Sure.
finding the worst way to not have to participate in an event by not being able to stand. He was in charge of the remote, so like sometimes there was like I think he put Ghost in the Shell on. Sometimes it was just music. Sometimes he was asleep and some other music. Yeah, it was just,
It was awesome.
but it was fine because it was funny. Everyone was just doting on him. It was like, hey, do you need something? Like, I'm pretty sure from the
I
moment we
hated
picked him up and got him there, he was just drinking whiskey and eating whatever food we gave him, and he fell asleep and he'd wake up and keep doing that. So he
Yeah,
probably had the best Fen out of all of us. Let's be real.
it was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Now, I do have to say, he kept on picking music, and one thing that was hilarious was Jess would then tell me how much she hated the song, and then would proceed to dance to the song for the duration.
That's just for you. Yep.
Yes.
Uh, but yeah, but I guess to kind of put a small pin in all this, just a real quick recap of the award winners. So I was able to capture those banners, so I became Tayrathi's champion. Officially, finally, we're here. It's so stupid. Like I'm like I can't believe I finally won an award at this event.
You deserve it. Killing your own units, stabbing in the back.
I had no choice. I was like, I need to. Like I can't. I've come so far. Like um the winner, the honorary member of Tayrathi called most kill points was actually Mark. There, very close. Brad had a dominating lead. Up until the last game, and even at the end, like Brad finished his game, so we knew what Brad's score was, and like it was like 250 kill points away. And I looked at
Wow.
Brad, I'm like, he's close, and I mean Brad was just like, give it to him, he earned it. And I was just like, he's got to officially earn it, and he did. He pulled it out at the end.
Sure.
But yeah, really close runner up was Brad with his orcs. Coolest army player vote, Mike Keel with his Bretonians from Tale of Four Warlords, definitely well earned. Best written narrative, overwhelmingly Matt.
So stupid.
Like
I know,
over.
so stupid.
Well,
Yeah,
was-
like literally, Matt. 70% of the votes was you. It was crazy. I was like Matt. Like everything else was like okay, 1, 2, 3. Like I had like everybody was kind of like spaced out. Like it was like Matt, 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 and then a few other people. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
wow.
Well, so Alex, for your background information, Chuck and I were talking about it beforehand because last year I put so much effort into the narrative to write like something like a little drama and everything, and everyone's like,
Yeah, nobody cares.
"The hell is this?
Is it over
What?
2 pages? We're not reading this.
Why does it go on to a second page?"
Well, see,
and
I went simpler than you, Matt. So like,
right.
I think Matt found the good sweet spot. So tell us what you did.
So so Chuck was saying you should just submit a picture of boobs. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
and so I went online and I found there's a like a pinup custom model of a female dwarf topless reclining on an anvil of doom. So I was like, okay, let's use that as the basis for a story and get it as short as humanly possible. So I basically said that my rune lord, who was the only hero in my army, tapped into some sort of runic communication system, which I called OK Valeha, a knockoff of OK Cupid, where he met a female dwarf lord and a rune lord, and she was basically like, "Come hit me up, daddy." Send him a picture of that model, and then ended it with a good pun because he was on the way. I included Chuck's narrative in the way, like basically just in the way of Dwarf Tang, and where he met Tomb Kings, and they're like, well, they're not on the grudge list, so if they don't want to fight, and the Tomb Kings were like, hey, if there's one thing we know all about, it's boning, and that was the narrative.
We'll
That's
help
good.
you out. We'll help you out. Yeah,
I
that's
like how in the end the way the Tomb Kings were introduced. I think you said, and also Tomb Kings were there.
Yeah,
also
basically.
suddenly Tomb Kings. But
What
yeah,
was your narrative, Alex? What was your narrative?
Yeah, I was part of Mike's narrative in the last paragraph of a 3.5 page.
Oh, in the last paragraph. I didn't get that far. Sorry.
It was three and a
What's
half. I actually read all of Mike's narrative, but yeah, it was 3.5 or 4 pages. It was of small font. It was a lot.
I've usually done like about 1.5 pages. Didn't really work. All super serious type stuff. Yeah, like the long doesn't work. And I went the exact opposite, super short. I submitted just the picture of Taylor Swift, and if you have followed the Eras tour, you will know which one it is. Like, I promise you. And if not, DM me, I'll send it to you. I was like, boom, zero effort, because my event narrative was actually just the event, or my narrative was just the event narrative. So it's like
Sure.
I was not planning on ever trying to win that award anyway. But just a one very nice looking picture doesn't work, on all the words don't work. But one nice picture and a few words seems to be the key.
Yeah.
Or
Matt,
for Matt.
To
it worked for Matt.
draw the eye in.
Yep. After that, there was favorite opponent, which we actually had a draw on for the teams between Dave and Mark and Ben and Quentin. Actually, it's really funny because, as it was said, it's a team event or team award. Quentin voted for Dave, but not Mark. Had he not done that, Quentin and Ben would have won. But since he did, it was a draw, and they rolled off, and Mark and Dave won.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so he was the instrument of his own demise, I guess.
Dave and Mark really vibe well as a team.
They were, like I said,
Very weird.
yeah. Well, like, they're both dads. They were just dad
Sure.
joking the whole time.
Sure, there was a lot of dad jokes.
Having watched them face each other 2 Tayrathis in a row and seeing their games and how much we all love that game, they said every pairing of partners was random except for theirs. I put them together immediately. I said, this is going to happen because I want to see this. It was volatile in one way or the other, and it was a good volatile.
Sure.
And much to I guess Quentin's delight, after losing favorite opponent, he won the best painted hero because his Dreadlord on Dragon just looks great. He put in a lot of effort to it, like so. There's that, and then drum roll. Should we drum roll? I don't know if it'll pick up. It's gonna sound terrible. Oh, I hear it. Championship belt went to Brandon because he just went above and beyond with a lot of stuff during this event. Not just for baking food or cooking food, but also like just painting an army, playing the army, having a good time. He's a known person. He only ever has like 1 or 2 beers a year, and it's usually at Oktoberfest, but he had a couple here. He was just like, I want to have a good time with my friends, and he lived the event spirit. And the Brick of Shame, which is not shameful, went to person who, what would Morathi do? It went to Luke because he was the first one. As soon as he got attacked by 2 people on the boss battle, he's like, I like to switch sides, please, which is what Morathi would have done.
Very fair.
Yeah, so that was a team that actually managed to win that, but not through any sort of team specific thing. So it was a good time. But yeah, that oh no, that was Tayrathi. Like I had a great time. Cleanup went well, setup went well. Everyone seemed to have a good time. It got me real energized. Like I said, I painted the Lumineth today. I'm super excited to do more just hobby stuff right now. I want to do more old world. But I might have Brewhammer coming up here soon. I might have work getting in the way of that. Well, unfortunately. That I found out about literally today as recording, but I'm trying to figure that out first. But yeah, Tayrathi, I'm excited. I had a great time. Trust me, I'd love to have this be like 50 people and invite everybody in the world that I know, but I just don't know.
You would not enjoy it as much.
No, I wouldn't. And the barn does have a limit of space.
Right. Yeah.
But
no, I enjoyed it a lot. Like I said, it's one of my favorite events. It's probably my favorite event of the year, even when I do other events. So it's a really good time.
Yeah, definitely.
what was that, Matt? You cut out.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Yes,
He's like,
definitely.
no, it sucks.
Yes,
Concur.
definitely. Yes, definitely, Daddy. Are you calling me Daddy, Matt?
Or Papa.
Oh, okay, there we go. So I guess I want to, do you have like a moment in general from the event that you like absolutely loved, whether it was the whiteout blizzard conditions for all 3 days, whether it was, just hanging out with a certain person or just connecting, or was it having a fully painted army on the board? Like what was, Alex, let's start with you. What was your favorite moment touching this event?
I think it's realistically that my favorite reason for enjoying this event is I get to roll dice, have beer, smoke cigars, and enjoy company of friends. Right? Because you can't do that at a NashCon, or you can't do it at other events. But those are not people you necessarily. They're good people.
They're your
right?
friends, but they're not your tribe.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But getting to hang out with you, with Matt, with Mike, with Terry, with Brad, right? Mark, it's just everybody else, right? It's just a good time because those are people I just enjoy being around,
Mhm.
and I also get to play a game I enjoy. I also get to drink a beverage I enjoy, smoke a cigar I enjoy. It's just a lot of things that I already enjoy put together in one event. So it's just a good time.
Good. Matt, any special moment for you?
Yeah, Sunday's pork bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, that pork roll's good. Yeah, food is entirely an option. I accept that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, the food was delicious. It was delightful.
I'm gonna have it's gonna be a little sappy here, um, but it was Friday. We were all set up and ready to go. I work was just like busy, busy, busy. Like I was having problems turning off work mode, and like I was like, I want to relax and have fun with my friends. And it's like I'm going to like everyone's helping me out. Like it's like I wasn't like there was zero stress. It's just my brain wouldn't turn off from work. And I can't remember the exact words, but like we're just sitting there and like I was talking to Brandon and he's just like, Chuck, I really appreciate you. And like my eyes started watering and I was just like, oh my God, I didn't know I needed to hear that. Holy shit. Like I hugged him. And it just like from that moment it was just like, yeah, everything's good. Let's have a great event. So little moment, shout out to Brandon there. Like
That's awesome.
little yeah, like I was just like, I mean, that's very much like the guy thing. Like you're like, oh shoot, that's right. I need to be loved. I'm a human being. Yay. Yeah, all day. Sorry, I got called myself. No.
Very sweet.
But yeah, I already started looking at planning for next year. I have no idea what game system it's going to be.
Infinity.
30K, 30K. I don't have an army.
I was like 3,000 point 30K, Alex. Can you get that done by next year?
Give me 4 days.
Okay, all right. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just excited at the energy for it to keep going. I want a hobby right after this call. That's probably what I'll do. Maybe. To be fair, I'm not really excited to paint corn models because it's just red. But anyway.
Quick aside, Alex, if you did do 30K, what army would you do?
Salamander. I don't know. Because salamanders, I really like them, but they weren't really. I mean, they died mostly, and Vulcan did his things a little bit. But
I could see you doing 30K Space Wolves, but not 40K Space Wolves.
Yeah,
because there is a difference like in vibe with them.
Right.
And I think you'd match the 30K vibe a lot.
Maybe 30K Space Wolves and then 40K I would do salamanders.
I could see
also
that.
would be really fun to do a 30K. What's the Imperial Guard, but not Imperial Guard? What are they called?
I don't know. They're not Space Marines. They don't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
No, I don't know.
I like the look of their models.
Oh,
they
really?
look like a very trench crusade, but not trench crusade. Another game, but they have that look to them, like trench warfare. Yeah. I don't know. Just like it.
Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
That's cool.
What would you play, Matt?
I think I'd be torn between Ultramarines and Word Bearers.
You'd be Ultramarines. We're done with that. You're too much of a paladin in real life, Matt. You can't not.
Do whatever is slowest with the crappiest shooting.
with the best shooting that just doesn't work.
Yeah, you want to know that your dice rolls are failing you. It's not the rules. It got to be your dice. Oh, man. Well, I guess with that said, let's wrap up here with, okay, I guess because like it's in my mind. What are you energized to hobby next? Like full tilt. Like I know we kind of mentioned this back and forth, but like what's on your painting desk? What did Tayrathi say in your mind? You want to go home and paint this right now? For me, what I really want to get to painting to right now is this Lizardman army. It's not next. I have 2 other small projects before it, but like I wanted to paint more old world specifically. So that's me.
Oddly, it makes me want to play Middle Earth or paint Middle Earth. Like I really excited to finish the Fellowship, and then I'm like, man, maybe I'll work on the Moria goblins and go from there.
Should be an easy paint.
Yeah, I think so.
I think for me, I would really like to get more of the Crisis Protocol painted, just because it is an easy little thing, and it's like you don't do units, you just do. Oh, here's Luke Cage. I'm going to paint Luke Cage for a while.
Yeah. Okay. That's fun. That's fun. It's nice. It's nice that it's hobby motivating just for hobby's sake. So yeah, that's absolutely great. Well, with that, we'll call this episode an end. Next week, Neil should be back. I believe he's back from his Jamaican vacation. Hi, Neil. If you're listening still, you should be listening to this on the plane. You said you would. If you didn't, shame on you. But we'll be back talking some fun stuff. Maybe Empire, Arcane Journal, if I have my book in hand. I don't know how that's going to work out. But yeah, we'll get back to it. Alex and I will talk about the cut that we started already. And Matt, I hope to see some Big M's Power Hour again soon.
We'll see. I haven't come up with anything that would encompass a full 3-hour episode yet. So
You could just complain about Age of Sigmar 4th edition like I've been doing. It's like,
like I said, in the last episode of Power Hour, I was like, look, here's my criticisms of 4th edition, and anything beyond this is just flat out bitching, which I don't want to do.
that's fair. Actually, I do want to get us all back on it. Maybe we do it as a Big M instead of a Strength Hammer. Talk about Middle Earth.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, we'll figure it
About
out.
what?
Middle Earth.
Oh, Middle Earth. Yeah,
Yeah, but maybe it's a Big M Power Hour as opposed to a Strength Hammer podcast. But anyway,
I would love to play that. I can't wait to play that little mini tournament.
I'm so excited. I'm nervous for what they're going to do with the fiefdoms, because there's not a singular model from either of my armies in either of the 2 books that are out.
Yeah.
And they retired the main warrior for Dol Amroth. So
Matt, I will tell you this. You could make up everything about your army. None of us are going to check or question you.
These are men at armed Dol Amroth. They hit on a 2, and I re-roll that, and if they hit you, 2 guys die.
Fuck, yeah, that makes sense. Middle Earth.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be your secret. We'll never know. And then one of us will randomly beat you, and you'll be like, how? I cheated so hard. Anyway.
I just played by the real rules for once.
Yeah. But yes. Anyway, we will see you all next week. You may see a brief show before that, because I think next week there's going to be the reveal for LVO.
Thursday.
Is it this Thursday?
Technically Thursday night going into midnight.
Okay. So yeah, we just released this on Friday. There may be a midnight reveal show that I'll do real quick, and maybe if someone wants to join me, we'll do it. But you might see that pop up slightly before, or if there's any random Old World or Sigmar news that they're exciting. But if not, we'll see you guys in a week. But Matt, Alex, thanks for being on. For Alex doing double duty on this case, Matt for just showing up randomly, being the best guest in the world.
Love you, Matt.
Love you guys.
All right. Until next time, as Alex, come on, get the biceps out. We will see you next week. Stay Stormcast strong, and happy hobbying.